A retired plumber named Warren spent 31 years fixing pipes in residential homes. He told me the single most common complaint was bad-smelling water first thing in the morning. A metallic, eggy, stale smell that disappeared after running the tap for 20 seconds. In 31 years, he never saw a case where the problem was the water supply. Not once. The problem was always in the last 2 inches of the faucet, in a part most homeowners do not know exists. Warren charged $75 per service call to diagnose it. The honest fix took 30 seconds and cost nothing. But before I tell you what Warren knew, I need to tell you about a number. 34. 34 people died in a Philadelphia hotel in 1976 because of bacteria growing in stagnant water inside the plumbing. When you understand what happened and what the CDC did afterward, you will understand why hospitals clean this part every week and nobody ever told you to clean yours. Last November, Carol's sister Joanne stayed with us for Thanksgiving. She filled a glass from the kitchen tap first thing in the morning, took a sip, and stopped. She said, "Carol, does your water always taste like pennies and eggs?" But I had been running that tap for 20 seconds every morning for years, flushing away whatever Joanne just tasted, without ever asking why. In the next 29 minutes, I am going to show you 3 things. First, the specific part of your faucet that is producing the smell, and why it is not your water, not your pipes, and not your water heater. The answer will disgust you. Second, the real history of how 34 people died in a Philadelphia hotel because bacteria grew in stagnant water inside the plumbing, and why the CDC's response created a hospital protocol that was never extended to residential homes, despite the identical biology. And third, the 30-second fix that eliminates the smell permanently, including the 5 mistakes that will either break the aerator, contaminate your water worse, or send you on a $300 wild goose chase with a plumber or a water filter salesman. Warren's full story comes after the steps, and what he told me about how plumbers diagnose this problem will make you furious. Stay with me. Here is what you believe is happening because it is what everyone believes. You think your water supply has a problem. Maybe the city pipes are old. Maybe your well pump is picking up sulfur. Maybe the water heater is breeding bacteria in the tank. Those are all real things that can cause bad water. But none of them explain why the smell is only there for the first 15 seconds and then disappears. If the water supply was contaminated, every glass would smell. If the water heater was the problem, the hot tap would smell all day. If the city pipes were corroded, the smell would not stop after running the tap for 20 seconds. The fact that the smell exists only in the first splash of water and then vanishes tells you the problem is not upstream. It is at the very tip of the faucet. The last point the water touches before it hits your glass. That point is the aerator. And I would guess that 90% of the people watching this video do not know what an aerator is, have never removed one, and have no idea what is growing inside theirs right now. Every modern faucet in every American home has a small disc threaded onto the tip of the spout. It is about the size of a quarter. Inside that disc is a fine mesh screen, sometimes 2 or 3 stacked screens, surrounded by a small rubber gasket. The purpose of the aerator is to mix air into the water stream. It breaks the single flow of water into many small streams and introduces air between them, which reduces splashing, makes the water feel softer, and reduces water consumption by about 30%. Every faucet you have ever used in your life has one. Kitchen, bathroom, utility sink. Everyone. Now here is what nobody tells you about that aerator. The fine mesh screen traps things, tiny particles of sediment from the water supply, mineral scale from dissolved calcium and magnesium, fragments of pipe corrosion, bits of rubber from degrading gaskets upstream. Over months and years, the screen accumulates a layer of trapped debris. And every night, when you turn off the faucet and go to bed, a small amount of water remains trapped in the aerator between the screens. That water sits stagnant in a dark, warm, nutrient-rich environment for 6 to 8 hours. Those are the exact conditions that bacteria need to colonize a surface and form a biofilm. Do you leave food out on the counter overnight in a warm, moist environment and expect it to be fine in the morning? Of course not. But that is exactly what is happening inside your faucet aerator every single night. The bacteria that thrive in faucet aerators include Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Methylobacterium, and in buildings with older or poorly maintained hot water systems, Legionella pneumophila. These organisms are not unusual. They exist at low levels in virtually all municipal water supplies. At those levels, they are harmless. But when they find a surface where they can attach, accumulate, and feed on trapped organic material without being disturbed by flowing water, they multiply rapidly and form a biofilm, a structured colony encased in a slimy protective matrix that adheres to the screen surfaces. When you turn on the faucet in the morning, the first burst of water pushes through that biofilm and carries bacterial metabolic waste products into your glass. Those waste products include hydrogen sulfide, which smells like rotten eggs, and various organic sulfur compounds that smell metallic or stale. After 15 to 20 seconds of running water, the stagnant water trapped in the aerator has been flushed and replaced with fresh water from the supply line. The smell disappears. The water is fine. You fill your coffee pot and forget about it until tomorrow morning when the same thing happens again. Have you been running your tap for 20 seconds every morning without knowing why? Because that is exactly what the smell has trained you to do. And you have been working around a problem that takes 30 seconds to fix instead of 30 seconds to flush every day for the rest of your life. And here is the question that should make you angry. If the problem is a removable part that costs $2 to replace and 30 seconds to clean, why has no plumber, no faucet manufacturer, and no home maintenance guide ever told you to clean your aerator? Because 3 industries profit from your ignorance. The plumbing industry charges $75 to $200 for a service call to diagnose a water smell complaint. Warren told me that a significant percentage of those calls end with the plumber recommending a system flush at $150 to $200, which involves running water through all the pipes at high volume. The flush clears the aerator temporarily by blasting through the biofilm with pressure. 6 weeks later, the biofilm has reformed and the smell is back. The homeowner calls the plumber again. Warren said some of his colleagues had customers on a twice-yearly flush schedule at $200 per visit for a problem that the homeowner could solve permanently by unscrewing a $2 part and dropping it in a cup of vinegar. The water filtration industry is even larger. $20 billion a year in the United States alone. Whole house systems, under sink filters, pitcher filters, fridge filters. A homeowner who smells something wrong with their morning water is a prime customer for a $300 to $1,500 filtration system. The filter salesman will test your water, show you the dissolved mineral content, and recommend a system that addresses water hardness, chlorine taste, and sediment. The filter will do all of those things, but it will not fix the aerator. The water leaving the filter is clean. It then passes through the aerator where the biofilm is waiting. The smell persists. The homeowner blames the filter, upgrades to a more expensive one, and never thinks to look at the $2 disc at the tip of the faucet. And the faucet manufacturers know? Moen, Delta, Kohler, every major brand. Their engineering departments understand aerator biofilm contamination. Their commercial product lines for hospitals and laboratories include antimicrobial aerators and laminar flow devices designed specifically to prevent bacterial colonization. But their residential product lines include no maintenance instructions, no cleaning reminders, and no warnings about biofilm formation. Have you ever read a single piece of paper that came with your kitchen faucet that mentioned cleaning the aerator? Because a consumer who cleans their aerator monthly is a consumer who never calls a plumber, never buys a filter, and never replaces a faucet because the water smells funny. Now I need to tell you about what happened in Philadelphia. Because that story is the reason hospitals clean their aerators every week, and the reason you should be furious that nobody ever told you to clean yours. In July of 1976, the American Legion held its annual convention at the Bellevue Stratford Hotel in downtown Philadelphia. Over 2,000 veterans attended. Within days of the convention, attendees began falling ill with a severe pneumonia that doctors had never seen before. Over the following weeks, 221 people were infected. 34 died. The CDC launched one of the largest epidemiological investigations in American history. It took months to identify the cause. The bacterium was Legionella pneumophila, a species that had never been formally described before. It was found thriving in the hotel's cooling tower and in stagnant water within the building's plumbing system, including faucet fixtures where water sat undisturbed. The bacteria had been multiplying for months in the building's water infrastructure, invisible, odorless, lethal. Every veteran who washed his hands, every guest who filled a glass, was exposed through aerosols created when water passed through contaminated fixtures. The discovery changed hospital plumbing forever. The CDC issued guidelines requiring healthcare facilities to maintain water systems at temperatures that suppress Legionella growth, to flush low-use fixtures regularly, and critically, to remove and sterilize faucet aerators on a weekly schedule. The aerator was identified as one of the highest risk points for bacterial colonization in any plumbing system because of its combination of stagnant water, trapped nutrients, and large surface area from the mesh screens. Those guidelines have been in effect for over 45 years. Every hospital in the country follows them. Nursing homes follow them. Many commercial buildings follow them. The residential homeowner, who has the same faucet design with the same aerator using the same water in the same stagnation conditions, was never told. Not by the CDC, not by the plumber, not by the faucet manufacturer, not by the filter salesman. Nobody extended the guideline from the hospital bathroom to your kitchen sink, despite the identical biology. Here is how to fix it. 30 seconds of work the first time. Monthly maintenance after that. Step 1. Look at the tip of your kitchen faucet. You will see a small cylindrical piece threaded onto the end of the spout. That is the aerator. Grip it with your fingers and turn it clockwise when looking up at it from below. Most aerators unscrew by hand. If it is stuck from mineral buildup, wrap a rubber band around it for grip or use pliers with a cloth to protect the finish. Step 2. Pull the aerator out and look at it. This is the moment that changed everything for me. The first time I unscrewed my kitchen aerator, I held it up to the window and the mesh screen was covered in a brownish-green slime with dark particles embedded in it. I called Carol over. She looked at it and said, "Frank, we drink from this every morning." I said, "Yes, we do." She did not speak to me for about an hour, not because she was angry at me, but because she was angry at the situation. We had been filtering our morning water through that slime for years. Every guest who had filled a glass from our kitchen tap had tasted whatever was growing in there. That image, the slimy screen held up to the kitchen window, is something I cannot get out of my head. And I do not want to get it out because it is the reason I clean it every month now without being reminded. Step 3. Drop the aerator into a cup of white vinegar. Plain distilled white vinegar, the kind that costs $2 a gallon. Let it soak for 10 minutes. The acetic acid dissolves the mineral scale that anchors the biofilm to the screen and kills the bacteria on contact. Step 4. After soaking, scrub the screen gently with an old toothbrush to remove any remaining debris. Rinse under running water. Hold it up to the light. You should be able to see clearly through every opening in the mesh. If any holes are still blocked, poke them clear with a toothpick or a pin. Step 5. Screw the aerator back onto the faucet. Hand tight is sufficient. Do not over-tighten or you risk cracking the plastic housing. Step 6. Repeat monthly. Mark it on the calendar the same day you change your furnace filter or test your smoke detectors. A monthly cleaning prevents the biofilm from establishing to the point where it produces detectable odor. The process takes 30 seconds once you have done it the first time. If you are about to walk to your kitchen sink and unscrew that aerator for the first time, subscribe right now. What I am showing next week involves a bathroom problem that 90% of homeowners think is permanent, and it is not. You will want to see that. Now let me tell you what Warren told me about how the plumbing industry actually handles this problem, because this is the part that ties everything together. Warren said that in his first year as an apprentice, the senior plumber he trained under showed him the aerator trick on day one. He said every plumber in the trade knows about aerator biofilm. It is basic plumbing knowledge. He said the problem is that a 30-second fix that costs nothing does not generate a service call. A mysterious water smell that requires diagnosis, testing, and a system flush generates $75 to $200. He said he was not proud of every call he billed for, but the business model of residential plumbing is built on the homeowner not knowing how their own fixtures work. A homeowner who understands the aerator is a homeowner who never calls. I asked Warren why he was willing to tell me this. He said he had been retired for 6 years and he had no invoices left to protect. He said the plumbing trade is full of honest people who do good work. But the business rewards complexity over simplicity. A complicated diagnosis generates revenue. A simple answer does not. He said in 31 years, he could count on one hand the number of times he told a homeowner to just clean their aerator instead of recommending a flush or a filter. The rest of the time, he did what the business expected. He diagnosed, he recommended, he billed. He said that is not something he is proud of. But he said any homeowner who understands their own faucet is a homeowner the trade cannot overcharge. Warren told me something else that stuck with me. He said the cleanest water in the country still produces aerator biofilm. Municipal water treatment kills the vast majority of bacteria in the supply. But the tiny fraction that survives is enough to colonize a surface over 6 to 8 weeks if the conditions are right. And the aerator conditions are always right. Warm, dark, nutrient-rich, undisturbed for hours every night. He said even homes with brand new plumbing and perfect water quality develop aerator biofilm within 3 to 4 months of installation. The problem is not the water. The problem is the part. And the part is designed to be removable because the engineers who designed it knew it would need cleaning. They just assumed someone would tell the homeowner. Nobody did. I cleaned every aerator in our house after that first discovery. 4 faucets. The kitchen was the worst. The master bathroom was almost as bad. The guest bathroom, which gets less daily use, was the most heavily colonized because the water sits stagnant for longer between uses. That guest bathroom faucet is the one Joanne drank from on Thanksgiving morning. After I cleaned all 4, the morning smell disappeared completely. Not reduced, gone. Carol tested it the next morning by filling a glass from a dead cold start, no running the tap first. She sipped it and said it tastes like water. Just water. That was 14 months ago. I clean the aerators on the 1st of every month. The morning smell has never returned. And I have not run the tap for 20 seconds before filling the coffee pot since the day I saw what was growing inside that screen. Now I have to be honest about the limits. If your water smells all day long, not just in the first 15 to 20 seconds, the problem is not the aerator. It is the water supply. Well water with high sulfur content, corroded galvanized pipes, or a water heater with a failing anode rod can all produce persistent odor that has nothing to do with the aerator. The aerator fix solves the stagnation smell, the one that appears only at first draw and disappears quickly. If the smell persists after running the tap for a full minute, you have a different problem, and you should have your water tested. If your aerator is heavily corroded or the screen is physically damaged, do not try to clean it. Replace it. Aerators cost $2 to $4 at any hardware store and come in standard thread sizes. Bring the old one with you to match the size. Here are 5 mistakes that will ruin the fix. Mistake number 1, using bleach instead of vinegar. Chlorine bleach can degrade the rubber gasket inside the aerator and cause it to crack or lose its seal. Vinegar is acidic enough to dissolve mineral scale and kill bacteria without damaging the gasket. Bleach is overkill for a part you can clean with kitchen vinegar. Mistake number 2. Forgetting to clean the inside of the faucet spout. When you remove the aerator, look up inside the spout with a flashlight. If you see buildup or discoloration on the interior walls, use a bottle brush or a cotton swab dipped in vinegar to clean the last inch of the spout. The biofilm can extend slightly upstream from the aerator into the spout itself. If you clean the aerator but leave the spout dirty, the biofilm recolonizes the clean aerator within weeks. Mistake number 3. Over-tightening the aerator when you reattach it. Most aerators have a plastic or brass housing. Cranking it with pliers can crack the housing or strip the threads. Hand tight plus a quarter turn is all you need. If it drips, add 1 more quarter turn. If you are white-knuckling it with channel locks, you have gone too far. Mistake number 4. Cleaning the aerator but never cleaning the one on the bathroom faucet. Every faucet in your house has an aerator. The bathroom sink, the bathtub spout if it has one, the utility sink in the garage. The guest bathroom aerator is usually the worst because it gets the least daily flow and the longest stagnation periods. Clean all of them, not just the kitchen. Mistake number 5. And this is the one that connects the Philadelphia hotel to your kitchen sink. Believing that water quality is someone else's responsibility. The city treats the water. The plumber maintains the pipes. The filter company cleans the supply. That framing puts the homeowner at the end of a chain where every link is someone else's job. But the aerator is yours. It is in your house, on your faucet, and it is the last thing your water touches before it enters your glass. The city cannot clean it. The plumber will charge you to diagnose what you can fix in 30 seconds. The filter company will sell you a $300 system that filters the water before it reaches the aerator and then lets it sit in the aerator overnight, accumulating the same bacteria the filter just removed. The last 2 inches of your water's journey are your responsibility, and those last 2 inches are where the smell lives. Let me give you the numbers. A plumber's service call to diagnose a water smell costs $75 to $200. A system flush costs $150 to $200. A whole house water filter costs $300 to $1,500 installed. The aerator fix costs $0 if you already have vinegar in your pantry, which you almost certainly do. A replacement aerator costs $2 to $4 at the hardware store. Monthly cleaning takes 30 seconds. Over 10 years, the plumber route costs $750 to $2,000 if you call twice a year. The filter route costs $300 to $1,500 upfront, plus $50 to $100 per year in replacement cartridges. The aerator route costs $2 once and 30 seconds per month. And the aerator route is the only one that addresses the actual source of the smell. Warren knew for 31 years. Every plumber in the trade knows. Every hospital infection control nurse knows. The CDC published the guideline in the years after Philadelphia. The engineers at Moen and Delta and Kohler designed the aerator to be removable because they knew it would need cleaning. And the only people who were never told were the people standing at the kitchen sink every morning, running the tap for 20 seconds, waiting for the smell to clear, not knowing that the answer was right there at the tip of the faucet, 2 inches from their glass, waiting to be unscrewed for the first time in years, maybe for the first time ever, hiding a slime-covered screen that would make them wonder how they ever drank from it without. If you want to see the bathroom fix I mentioned, that video is on your screen right now. Subscribe if you have not.